like I mentioned, had a very, very long break. And that's kind of something we're expecting. We're expecting them to be very prepared. Like you mentioned, again, going back to that point of them losing or not doing too well in recent times in a sense, they have plenty of time to rework that map, VALORANT, figure out what's been going on and try and rebuild the
strags to get those creds up. And that's indeed what they're doing. The spike has already ticked so low. Seth even stepping up to the plate, getting a kill off that frenzy. Relic, last person remaining in a 1v5, trying to find at least one. What would be that quick approach from the person out of vent, and even then, Seth does get called out. Vice rushing down mid. Seth, all he has is a Spectre, so it's a one-and-done position. And just like that, C9 has forced up this round, and they've held back the SSG squad. It's a 4-on-2. There's still one more on site. That's Kaplan, but he's down. Inski, 1v4 now, Sully.
They're looking good going into the third round. He's going to be able to hold this line. He's got so many angles to watch. And yeah, now that he's been spotted out, SSG, they're waiting. They'll play this patiently. But what a delay that Vice has caused already. That shock dart forcing a distance or creating a distance between those players. And look at the time that it's allotted for Mitch to make that rotation. Yes, he's kind of stuck and it's getting a little bit flustered. But at 3v3, that delay that Vice has caused has made this winnable. Spike cannot go down. It's way too contested on this B bomb site. Tenz has made his rotation a little bit late. But as the Spike goes down, a 3v3 and 2 players now make it 2 for one side. Just Tenz left alive here. I don't know what's happened here, but he's in a 1v3. Make it just a 2. He can definitely win this if he finds his final frag. 1v1. Up above he goes, dashing away. 6 full steps in the mag. All of this not able, right? Most of the time you have teams, they've got a set economy built up by this third round, but both teams have scattered weaponry, and Roka has scattered 3 heads. That is clean. He's been performing so well for SSG, and he stepped up massively to
the gambles, especially when it comes through to the ecos. It's been very efficient. C9 in that last run, again, they weren't just able to hold down their sights.
Cloud9, if you get Tenz onto this site, and he can maybe make some explosive plays here, but he's been shut down before he even gets to the go-in. Lucio, headshot straight onto him. Operator lost the round is done. SSG, spike down. It's not entirely good, I'd say. Maybe a couple of exits here for Cloud9, but it is just the one man. And Mitch, in a 1v5.
And again, these singers can't exactly do much. C9. C9 at least have a hope here in mid.
Round number 6 would have been a big deciding factor for the rest of the half, but because we had that rocky start, it's not going to be as easy as said and done. Mitch is able to pick up a double. Shinobi traded out. Can't even pick off of Mitch. It's only 2 for them, a 2 for 2, and now make it a 3 for 2 as SSG once more have dominated this A bomb site. They'll get the spike down, and this 6th round still seems to be a big round remaining, and they're trying to find a way back into this site.
Again, I can't emphasize how much of a rarity it is to actually see 5 rounds gone from a game. We haven't seen a full Riot round from both teams, but this is actually working out. Vice on the front lines, still trying to face up against Inski now in a 1v2. The spray down doesn't catch Relics.
They're playing with a blanket over their heads, and Tenz is getting ready to tear it right off of them. Great clear goes in, but Tenz exactly 2 frags to his name, and I think SSG realized the B site is not for the taking.
Now in comes the take, Busio on the front lines. C9, we're getting into some tricky places, and Tenz on top of Tin.
30 seconds left.
He rules the round, he rules the map. And again,
with the Vandal that he picked up off of Roka's body, now maybe a little bit more. Paranoia miss. That is so unfortunate for SSG. That was the explosion. That's what they needed. Roka needed to get that frag, but Inksy does it. Even without the assistance of his teammates, straight through the site for before they'll try and play off a Busio, run it back. Maybe he can clear out this site. He's already got one. He's been fantastic so far in clearing out sites like the A bomb site. He's sent all the way back to bathrooms, and still Shinobi. He's really the only line of defense, and even then, he's barely standing.
Spike planted.
Shinobi's just vibing. Look at that spot for the recon bolt. Oh man, it's Shinobi. Just peeks out from the cage. Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Revealing area.
But for C9, it's all too fortunate. Again, 2 players disjointed. It's going to be Vice coming in from the main area in Mitch. She was on the flank. Unfortunately, is going to go down to a 1v2. Still Vice now in a 1v3. And this one should just be about done and dusted. These 2 players do have a good chokehold onto this spike. But Vice is still hunting.
1 HP.
He knows for a fact this last person. It's going to happen within 0.4. He hears Tenz. Tenz thinks he's safe. He has his knife out. And there you go. Relics doesn't spot out Seth. That's going to be the frag. But in comes the teleport. You still have Relics over towards heaven. And he's still trying to get himself a couple of
10 seconds
frags.
left.
But Insky with a good shutdown of the showstopper.
One
That's a
player
4-on-3.
remaining.
And now Seth!
Spike.
Himself has to go big to try and turn this round, but Shinobi is going on a little bit of a run himself. Quick burst frag. He's opened things up here. He will be traded out with his back turned to Kaplan.
I know
Still
exactly
trying to aggress,
where
but that's finally going to be kill down for Boostio. Against C9, their economy has been a major issue thus far, really. Most of their rounds, 80% of the rounds that they've lost out
Spike planted.
have been to simple shooting, but by the time he gets there, Boostio might find the first contact.
player
And we
remaining.
go. Boostio gets one. He doesn't expect Vice. Vice here pops. Rogue is going to get the last kill. Easy peasy.
This round, Hunter's Fury called out. That'll try to delay them. Nice kill from Vice. He has information. A little player jumping out, but that's not enough. It's not enough to draw attention away. They're not exactly focused on the entire site, and this is a shutdown of a round. Cloud9, it will be a fifth on the board, almost definitely, unless Boostio can create some space for energy, but not much will come from it. Tenz, what we can do to try and delay them. And now Mitch, 90 HP against 3 players, has at least spotted one, but the Lear goes out full blind.
And this long hold is probably going to be the most important part.
Oh yeah, they're taking a fight, but they haven't taken any lives. Seth is kind of the big X right here. But team as well, Boostio has decided to ditch his teammates, and unfortunately, it's weak in this defense. Insky has to go huger in the back lines, finds one straight to the box on his Shinobi. Big delay cause, and it's just down to 2 for this. In comes the paranoia, it doesn't connect on to much. It doesn't give them much.
One
Insky
player
goes down.
remaining.
How is this
One
turned around?
player
10
remaining.
1v1, and knowing his skill and knowing his caliber, he should be walking away with this one. And all control so far. No one in Cloud9 is trying to fight that. Insky nearly gets a frag, but whiffs a couple of sheriff shots, and the movement made here by Seth. Flash back out of the way. Relics ensuring that he clears every corner. Just down to 1 in a 1v5.
Spike plant.
We're very lucky to go out with anything.
Do so much for their economy for the rest of this half. No economic damage. They can essentially chill. Look at this setup though. The paranoia going right into sight, and Boostio's gonna get overwhelmed. Massive stuff from Tenz on the front lines. Takes down Boostio. Takes down Roka. There's still gonna be one person in the back of that site. That's gonna be Kaplan. Really just waiting up for the approach. And C9, they haven't even gone for the execute yet. Just waiting for players to walk into their crosshairs. The
Crucial 4th round of this second half.
Again, most of these players with the Spectres and Bulldogs, they're gonna upgrade in the next round anyway, so it's not that big of an issue. But Tenz making his way right into U-Haul. Snags himself a big kill, but now it's gonna be a double hold over towards U-Haul. Vice on the front line's gonna go down, but Seth is right behind him with a trade back on Vice. Still Tenz around the corner, low on HP. Seth can't spray through the smoke, and instead it's gonna be Shinobi with, again, just a good frag, and only one person remaining. Roka looking for some economic damage, and that's the only thing he can really hope for. This man's a nutter, but it's a tall task. And he goes down to the spray down.
Vice is out, drone to clear it out. Tenz has been very good so far getting these positions out. And Insky, that's a massive kill. Tenz has got the verticality though, and Tenz up top shuts him down. As well as the Hunter's Fury to be called upon. They're trying to clear out this site, and Tenz has created such a big gap between him and the rest of his team. He's looking for energy. He's created
Tenz. It's almost expected that he's going to be in this area. Boostio, good stuff off the run it back, but that's a little bit of a one-way. Tenz, you got to keep watching that egg, and indeed he will. Going to be able to get a 2K, but again, one of them didn't count because it's a run it back. Now it's a 3-on-1. One more player remaining in the back of sight. It's going to be none other than Mitch, but he goes down. Finally, Space Station take around that first step, which is actually clearing out that area. And boy, again, that first shot was so pivotal. And now the Hunter's Fury, Kaplan, you get so much damage off of this. You're, again, ducking, dodging, bobbing, weaving.
exactly where you are.
Couldn't get much damage off of it there. Shinobi now, that front line is going to get revealed by the recon bolt, but now he teleports onto site. Boostio with a good angle over towards elbow. He's still in the drop. He's able to get 2 relics. A great shot back, but now he's all left on his lonesome. Only 6 HP for the man, and oh my, the rotate. A little bit against Seth. Over towards U-Haul. Very unfortunate. Insky waiting him for the approach. Back towards Bathroom. And oh my, Kaplan! Still waiting up for SSG if they end up opting for it. Spike still ticking down little by little. Kaplan might be able to get some information. In comes the frags for C9. Still Kaplan holding things down. Mitch just needs to get this one frag. Spike is gonna get ticked, but Roka overwhelmed.
He's been so good at opening up the sights, but alone can he pull this round back straight into the face of Inksky. It has been shut down already, and Inksky and Seth domino force. They've shut down the A side play, and now it's just down to 2. Not looking good here for Cloud9. This is a big round for them to break the economy, but it won't happen. They've tied it up, and
Space Station actually comes into fruition. This could be huge, Sully.
Get out of my way.
Look at their jaws. I mean, attention drawn away just by tenz himself, but his body is likely put on the line, and they will put to the test. Cloud9, not an optimal execution. The paranoia, you mentioned using those rotations.
Early good play from C9, but now in comes the ultis, in comes the utils. Boostio trying to get a run it back over towards Roka, but it's not going to work. With a hold from Roka, it's so good and long. Boostio holding W, an idiot.
Cloud9 is all about keeping men alive, and Shinobi, he's picked up the first already. Boostio looking for a trade, but shut down as well. That's what Cloud9 needed. They've opened up the B bomb side, and it's just one man. It split this entire defensive line. There is a flame going in, though. Inksky has been able to find one, but can there be more from him? He's found a second. Relics, you've got to shut him down here, and he does. 2 versus 2, but look at what that's done. Kaplan as well, pushed up towards long. This is such a chaotic round, and it's down to just...
Oh my, what was that angle? What was that angle back on the dart? Seth is going to be able to defuse with ease. And Space Station, they have taken bind away from Cloud9.
He was stellar in that first map alongside Seth, but here they come, and out they go. tenz right above them, and he's kicking things off with a bang. 2 frags to kick things off, nearly a third, but stolen away by Relics. And well, the long rotations here will be just a little bit, and they're all just hiding here. Cloud9, they don't have to move whatsoever. And Boostio, flash goes out, but not much else. I don't think only able to get 1 tenz straight it out. Yeah, 7-1 versus 3. He was good on the first set, but not
mid. Those are some of C9's biggest assets in terms of control, and holding double B main. I was about to say this. Holding double B main have been here on Ascent. They have been over towards mid, have been over towards B main. But now at this point, SSG, they can't exactly do much, right? With a lot of pistols, I'm just trying to hype it up.
He's looking to dart some shots on over. But can he get a little bit more? Inksky not able to catch him on. His teammate goes down in front of his eyes, but there's not much he can do about it. But he does get one. Nope. That's a big trade back. A 4v4 with the door
from A main too. That's probably going to be the most pivotal part. It's actually going to be the Sova trying to get a little bit of information, but it doesn't happen. Fight! Oh, he pulls out a huge 110. The same thing. But now it's 7-1v4. He takes out 2. Mitch still on site.
Well, he is alone on this B bomb side. He's trying to do what he can to hold these players back. Mitch picks up the first in Kaplan. It all comes down to his shoulders, and he won't have much to say about it.
30 seconds left.
Shinobi from the back line shuts him down on his left side, and 3-0. It's looking like a 4-0, unless these insane shots can come out of Rokashera.
And indeed it could. He's at a great angle, and tenz is getting a little bit dicey. A little bit spicy. And man, Roka! Oh my! Strikes down on a second and still has to keep going. He's gonna have 2 more players. Potentially in his crosshair. Roka on God! Still might be able to get himself out. What? What?
Statistically, he's been the best. 266 average combat score and 165 ADR over the last 10 maps that they've played. In Roka, he's not done fragging just yet. Picks up another kill in this round and sends Cloud9 down to just 3. Kaplan will make it 2. And they've really shut them down in this round. Good hold towards mid as well. Good presence from Kaplan. And it's just one man, Mitch. And a 1v5 has kicked us off with 1. He can maybe get a spike down if he's lucky. But against 4.
Mitch waiting. Oh, good cam. Be able to at least strike down on 1. Has to get the spray down onto Seth, but it will not happen. Seth gonna be able to take back.
And now Seth, he's really just sitting and waiting, hoping that his teammates can get here. So much utility, so much clutter going on, but Seth still holding on. Picks up a massive double kill. He's delayed. He stopped this attack with that nano sword, and right now SSG are looking for round number 2, but tenz is still alive, and alongside a Relic, they are the dead.
Roka, yet another opportunity. It's going to be a double hold in hell. The spike is right in front of them. He has no eye to actually work with 2. What? Utilize once again and yet another very tense round because at this point SSG they still stick to pistols and this B site has to be on lockdown by Kaplan somehow with his frenzy and it's just not going to happen. 3-on-4 retake.
Hopefully will be enough to get it done with him. Inksky getting sprayed down, very low HP on 2 players here now.
One
Tenz
player
knocked down even
remaining.
further, but Shinobi shuts it down. Nail in the coffin. Inksky will be lucky to walk away, I think, with a second frag here. Might be able to shut down Tenz jumping. Classic and Shinobi. Third and
You have to go for those peaks. Yes, it might equate into a trade, but it's just that meat grinder effect that they're just not getting. No trades, no picks, nothing of the sorts. C9, yet another round where they just have a free B main and only a singular person to look on.
5 players alive as well. Make it just 4. Great shot from Busio. Opens things up, but Vice, he's sitting in B main, trying to hold on to that Hunter Spear. If he needs to use it, he will onto that spike, but he's hoping his team can lock it down otherwise. But maybe they'll get locked down, and this is another use for that Hunter Spear. You can shut down the lockdown before it even gets started, but Vice, you can shut down before you even get a shot out. Now just down to 1. How is this flipped on its head? The narrative is gone, and it's just down to 1 spike.
Oh no!
And it's going to be defused. There's nothing Cloud9 can do. The Hunter Spear, they were hoping that...
Players in B main, they've actually taken full advantage of it, and they're actually executing as we speak. It's going to be Shinobi back on a trade back for Kaplan. So 1 more player on site, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's Seth. Roka is going to be able to take down Vice, so that's a essentially
upon it. Tenz was not going to allow that whatsoever. That is cleverly played, but now in comes the execution. Seth caught between a rock and a hard place, and by that I mean Mitch and Shinobi. They pounce upon him. Tenz will get the spike on down. 6-2.
Planted.
It's still possible here. Busio, he's been good at finding openings off the operator. I think he's got one gifted to him. It's a share, or apologies, a Marshall instead this time around. He misses his shot, but Roka coming. 2v2 now. And there is still, he's picked up a Phantom this time around. He's got 100 HP and Mitch. Tenz picks it up and Mitch is back around and finds Roka. Sets up the turrets. And yeah, SSG, they realize this is a lost cause, but they can lock down these Cloud9 players. They can look for a couple of exits, but Relics is making an exit for himself. Opens up a hole in this defense. What is just happened for Roka? A knife from Seth as well. That's 7-3, ladies and gents. And how the hell is that just happened? I'll never
pick over towards Cat. And again, like I mentioned before, Cat is a very poor for Space Station. They can actually get aggressive in it, and it just doesn't work. In comes the B-side holdo. Kaplan watching the cross, and that's going to be a huge loss. Shinobi takes down Kaplan. There's still 1 in the back of site. That's Insky now in a 1v4.
Oh, looking for a couple of tags.
1 enemy remaining.
Their way through. Especially because Kaplan has actually been having a pretty good game thus far. Gonna get sense. But in goes Roka again. Gonna be able to get an early frag, but Tenz is there for the
30
refrag.
seconds left.
In comes Busio, but Relics with a showstopper. Tags him right through the smoke. So 1 more player in the back of sights. It's Insky just waiting for an approach with a sheriff. Could be able to get a huge frag onto Relics, and indeed he does. Waiting for another player to Insky might have just saved the round for SSG, and of course he's looking
10
for
seconds left.
1 more player on site, and take for SSG. Lots of this utility is going to be not exactly neutral as well as potentially Seth. He's going to take down Shinobi. Mitch in the back lines. Gonna go down. So that was that last contact done and dusted. Now it's gonna be Vice and
Spike
Tenz
planted.
off this retake. Tenz in markets. There is 1 player watching just a hard angle, and that's gonna be Busio with a good early frag off this retake. And just like out early, then that would just be monumental.
Mitch trying
planted.
to bring some momentum back to their side, but Roka's not having any of it whatsoever.
1 player remaining.
He's like, nah, I'm gonna try and frag out here.
It might look like a waterfall out of heaven, and indeed it will be. Mitch, he does freak out a little bit, but there are friends going back and forth for SSG. He goes in, trying to find 2. Indeed, he finds 2. 1v3.
1 player remaining.
Gets himself 2. He's trying to defuse.
Wait to see what SSG bring to the table. And with this slow tempo from SSG, this caution, this looking for early picks, which they've got a second of now, it's looking good for them. And Shinobi being the sole player on this A site could even give his life right here, but he's not done yet. He picks up 1. Can he get a little bit more for his troubles? Nothing for a repeat. 4 versus 3 now as SSG to head the spear.
Again, that would have been huge. Can do those, trying to get some exit frags.
1
Trying
player
to restrict this
remaining.
economy. Good flick over from Seth, by the way.
Out of
Jeez.
charges.
He was almost done for, just maybe a couple milliseconds to allow the response time to actually catch up. That would have been a frag down for Seth. Instead, now it's 1v3, and he has a good off angle. But now in we go. 2 players on site. Tenz is here. Same thing with Mitch. Play the one way off the cage. But good eye from Roka to cover up. Tenz waiting for Roka to appear. And we'll be able to get the frag.
Heaven revealing that Rico goal. It'll let them know where he is.
One player remaining.
His teammate's body ensures that he stays alive. And Relics opens up the round. It opens up the retake. 8-8. Now make it 9-8 for Cloud9. A flawless retake.
On B side, watch out for Busio. He has been playing this off angle multiple times. And it's gonna be massive. Swings out, has to get the kill, but up close.
One
Tenz.
player remaining.
Still able to get one. Now it's just 7 now in 1v4. It's an intense scenario. Has to turn on back. He gets the 180, but Tenz once again.
Good about creating space. Can he do it again though? He's been so good in this position. Up close, Roka finds the first. His share throw has been instrumental, and that's the space they were looking for. Shinobi, door will be shut in his face. He's ready for the spam. Sees the barrel but can't get the frag. He'll be locked out of the round for now and waiting for the rest of his team. A retake commences. Roka's used the Emperor.
Spike planted.
And now it's just down to 2. Cloud9 locked out of the round. It's not impossible, but it is dire given the situation.
One player remaining.
The Empress is spraying on through, but more importantly, Busio is the king. Sitting on top, getting himself 3 frags. Tenz does take one back, but really the economic den. A little diddle.
He's got the showstopper. He is a full 70 kills to Cloud9. They're looking for an opening, but Relics is shut down. Ult out and Busio got 2. Killjoy lockdown goes in as well. I don't think there's any way that Cloud9 are getting back in this with so much time out of SSG.
Good hold at the very end of things, but again, the hope was very loud in terms of frags in this half. He's been insane, and now in he goes again. So pivotal on that front end, but Shinobi is there for the return frag, and same thing with Tenz. Good combo between the two, and no way is Tenz actually trying to go for that. Insky takes him down immediately, but that was ballsy to say the least from.
But no, Seth doesn't show his body, but Vice will get aggressive. He gets shot one down, and yep, that's what they needed. Vice takes down Seth, and now that sends the rest of SSG back. Insky will get a down. Kaplan is holding the angle. Such a forefront angle. He gets the first frag. There needs to be more behind it. So SSG in a 2 versus 1, leaving just
2 spots already exposed up by Vice. He already knows that there's going to be someone down below health purely because the util that was used earlier. In comes the drop, but more importantly, Insky.
Who would it be? This is some insane storytelling here by SSG and Cloud9. What a flip it's been. Operated for Tenzo, and maybe this is what they need, but he misses! He misses! Busio, what a kill that is, and what a second it will be for him. He's opened up the A bomb site. This man individually has been insane. What an X factor for SSG. Insky dancing between the operator, but Roka dancing on the site. Takes one, takes tag. That's what they needed. And it's trying to figure out what the Q is, but it doesn't. It's not going to be enough for the delay. Can maybe get one. Busio barely standing. Mitch.
I know exactly.
What a turn of events. Vice. The delay caused, that's what they needed.
30 seconds left.
Well, 2 versus 4, and Cloud9 are not done.
One player remaining.
No way! Do too much, I don't think. It's backed into a corner, and now the spike going down. Busio finds another opening. He was explosive in the last, but they couldn't close it out there. Relics trades it back to a 4v4 now.
Busio is still going to be in B main, just waiting up for the actual approach. Almost every single
One
player is actually
remaining.
on site, and it's just a combo of frags. 10 the last one remaining, jumping his way through. Busio gets the